This is the Apple Pro Display XDR, a 32-inch 6K IPS Retina display with extreme dynamic range, 1600 nits of peak brightness, and 10-bit depth for that legendary Apple color accuracy. The iconic rear panel is a sculpted canvas of milled aluminum, a geometric tapestry whereby each perforation isn't just aesthetic, it's a symphony of precision designed to cool the display while turning the back of the monitor into a piece of functional art. In my opinion, it is the most beautiful thing Apple has ever designed, and it's been on my wish list ever since I first laid eyes on it. However, it just celebrated its 6th birthday, but it still carries that same eye-watering price tag. And yet, I went ahead and bought it. Am I crazy? Let's ramble.
Hold up, things go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants some.
Hey guys, what's up? So yeah, there she is, the Apple Studio Display XDR. I've been drooling over this thing for a long time, but I could never bring myself to justify the cost. And throughout my YouTube journey, as I've been expanding and improving on my studio, I always chose to buy the Apple Studio displays instead. I mean, they are objectively the more sensible option, but they never managed to fully scratch that itch, if you know what I mean. Fast forward to the end of 2025, we've had a great year on the channel, and in preparation of the new year, I'm always looking to switch things up a little bit, you know, a change of scenery, maybe a new set. And as I was planning this new angle you're looking at right now, I just couldn't picture it without the Pro Display XDR. So I finally gave myself permission to allocate the budget and pull the trigger. But yeah, it definitely deserved a proper home, so the first order of business was to freshen up this part of the studio. The desk I had sitting here was fine, but nothing much to look at, so I found it a new owner and made room for something more fitting. The vision I had for this new area, this new set if you will, was a super sleek blackout look. The bright slats you see in the background have been here ever since I moved in, and they are essentially foam panels that kind of look like slats. I wanted to replace these with actual acoustic panels that would help create the dark look I'm going for. So I measured the wall section and I cut the slats to size. I don't have any private outdoor space here, so unfortunately I had to cut these things inside the studio, making a big mess. Let's just say I spent a good amount of time vacuuming and dusting after this. Instead of tearing down the foam panels, I decided to just mount the new ones on top of them for some extra sound dampening. Now for the desk, I knew exactly which desk it had to be. I first came across this desk when I reviewed it as part of a gaming PC setup I did last year, and it is easily the best desk I've ever used, not just in terms of build quality, but it also has the smartest and most efficient cable management system I've ever come across. And it is all black. So I reached out to Secret Lab to ask if they wanted to be part of this project, and they were kind enough to send one of their Magnus Pro desks for my setup. They're not sponsoring this video, but they did send me this unit, so a huge thank you to Secret Lab for this. Anyway, the build quality on these desks is next level, and you can already tell from the way things are packaged and organized that you're dealing with high quality stuff. Putting it together is super easy. It comes with included tools, so you don't technically need any, but since I do like to tinker a lot here in the studio, I might as well use the tools I have available here to make the assembly even easier. One of my absolute favorite features, and one of the main reasons I chose this desk for the setup, is the cable management tray, which is completely integrated into the desk. Since the desk will not be facing a wall like most of my desks, but rather it will be facing the studio, as you can see here, I wanted the front of the desk to look as clean as possible, despite all of the cables I'll have to run along the front side. I'm also a big fan of the magnetic desk mat. It is absolutely massive and it covers the entire metal desk surface, and because it's magnetic, it sticks to the desk perfectly, and once it's applied, it won't move an inch. The leather surface of the mat is so smooth that I won't be needing an additional mouse pad, which will really help achieve that clean and minimal look I'm going for. The desk comes with a riser that is also very cleverly designed, easy to assemble, but it also attaches to the desk part in a very smart way, so it doesn't block the cable management hinge cover. I love using desk risers. I've got them on most of my desks as they offer additional desk space and easy ways to store and hide items on your desk. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use this one for this particular setup because the Pro Display XDR sits too high on the Pro stand, which would lead me to strain my neck. Secret Lab did send me a monitor arm as well, which would have solved that problem, but I didn't like the way the Pro Display XDR looked on the monitor arm I had on my old desk, and I specifically wanted to use it on the Pro stand since I do believe that is the best look for the Pro Display XDR. So sadly, I will have to say goodbye to the desk riser for now. After a bit of trial and error, I found the ideal placement for the monitor off to the side, so it's time to place the rest of the items around this beauty. The Pro Display XDR does not have internal speakers, so unless you want to wear headphones all the time, external speakers are a must, and I believe I found the perfect ones. This blackout version of the Harman Kardon sound sticks match this setup perfectly. These are the 5th generation of the sound sticks, a design I've loved ever since the first one came out, and while they technically are computer speakers, we still have the OG sound sticks set up in our living room to listen to music because the sound on those things is absolutely stunning. Normally, you would hide a subwoofer under the desk, but this subwoofer is so beautiful that it really earns a spot on top of it. You can use the app to change the ambient lighting to whatever colors you want, but I think this icy blue, almost white monochrome looks so clean on this desk. I love it. They do connect via Bluetooth, but to avoid any kind of latency, I decided to use a USB-C to audio jack cable instead. The M4 Mac Mini Pro will be perfect for this setup. I purchased it for review on the channel, but since I'm using the M3 Mac Studio on my editing desk, the Mac Mini was not getting a lot of mileage. Now it will be put to good use on this new desk setup. Now guys, no matter what Mac you're using, please do yourself a favor and keep it protected, cleaned, and organized, and there really isn't a better tool than Clean My Mac. This software is notarized by Apple and crafted by MacPaw, and it can do it all. I've been using it for years, and if you've been around the channel for a bit, I'm sure you've heard me talk about Clean My Mac before. Smart Care keeps your Mac clean and optimized by removing system cache, development junk, and unnecessary files, all from a super sleek, user-friendly dashboard. Get rid of those annoying cookies so you can enjoy the right ones. But this new feature called Space Lens is just awesome. I mean, this is what storage management should look like. Space Lens gives you a super clean and detailed map of your storage on both internal and external drives, with folders shown as bubbles of various sizes so you can identify all the large and not so large files at just a glance. No more digging through folders and settings menus. You can dive right in and find those files that have been cluttering up your machine. My favorite part is that when you click on one of the bubbles, the files inside the bubbles will be organized in the same visual way. Select the files you want to review and potentially remove from the left-hand menu, and Clean My Mac will do the rest. It is so convenient, and most recently, Clean My Mac added a Cloud Clean feature, which can even take care of your cloud storage like Google Drive or iCloud. So guys, get tidy today, try 7 days for free, and use my code RAMBLES for 20% off. I like the design of the Mini, and I figured it would look great on the foot of the Pro stand, but the more cables I started adding, the more it started to bother me. It looked a bit cluttered. So I decided to hide the Mini inside the cable management drawer instead. That's the beauty of a small computer and a cable management tray with lots of space. I cut off a piece of cable sleeve and put it around the cables coming out of the back of the Pro Display XDR. Not that it looked super messy to begin with, but routing it all through one single sleeve just makes it look that much cleaner. Moving the Mac Mini inside the cable management tray does mean I lose easy access to its ports on the back, and I don't want to be opening up the hinge every single time I want to plug something into the Mini. But because it has Thunderbolt 5 ports, I found a perfectly elegant solution to this in the CalDigit Element Hub. A single Thunderbolt 5 cable running from the Mac Mini into the side of this unit turns it into a multi-port extension, giving me easy access to all the ports I could possibly need while keeping this desk looking super clean. The choice of keyboard and mouse was an easy one too. Of course, it had to be the black Apple Magic Keyboard and the black Apple Trackpad. I did add a white MX Master 3, still the very best mouse out there. And yes, they do make a black version, but I already had this laying around in the studio, and I actually quite like that it gives the desk just that little bit of pop. Now, with this being an all black setup, there is one little problem, since it's also supposed to serve as a set for filming, and that is the fact that I tend to disappear between the black foreground and the black background, and the single tube light I have set up in the corner just ain't cutting it. I needed something to help avoid this setup looking like a giant black hole. Something to separate me from the background. So I ordered a couple of these pendant lamp cables and some Philips Hue light bulbs. I made sure that the cables are black so that they would more or less disappear against the backdrop and give the light bulbs that floating effect. I did play around with the colors a little bit, but I think that simple orangey tungsten kind of look works best for this setup. And behold, probably the cleanest, most minimalist setup I've ever put together, and I'm loving it. I literally couldn't be happier with how it turned out, and I'm absolutely in love with this Pro Display XDR. I mean, we can talk about the specs, but after 6 years, I'm sure we all know what they are, and quite honestly, that's not why I bought it. We all know this will be replaced at some point, and that is one of the reasons why I had been holding off from buying one, and most likely a new one will drop a week from now. The universe does tend to troll me like that, but honestly, I don't really care. To me, this is not just a display, it is a piece of art. It will forever be a piece of Apple's history, and it signals a bit of a milestone for me in my YouTube journey. I really look forward to bringing lots of videos to you guys from this desk, and if you're into tech and lifestyle stuff, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated because we will keep leveling up in 2026 as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.